Oh, please. This is entirely unnecessary. We're a private club operating within the law.
Where'd you go to be a member?
We're not taking applications at the moment.
Ensure you show a photograph to everybody here. I want names, addresses, and proof of ID.
I would have thought the police had better things to do with their time these days.
We're investigating a series of murders. We believe the latest victim was one of your girls.
They're not my girls. They're guests.
Was she one of your guests?
She called herself Scheherazade.
Scheherazade? As in 1001 Nights? The girl who told stories to save her life?
Never heard it.
Her real name was Golvita Ahmed. She was held captive for weeks before she was strangled. We found her body in a suitcase.
That's truly dreadful, but it had nothing to do with this club, I'm sure of it.
Are you the owner, Jeanette Wise?
My guests call me Electra.
So all these fake names, is that part of the role play? You know, the thrill of sex with strangers.
There is that. It also encourages discretion.
I'd like to see your membership records.
I don't keep any. I couldn't betray my guests even if I wanted to.
Betray?
Complete discretion is assured. I have a professional duty of confidence.
So no one knows this place exists? You have no idea who you're letting in?
I vet every guest personally.
And if anyone vanishes without a trace, no one would even know they've ever been here. Unless they've left a note saying I'm off down the brothel.
Nothing like that has ever happened.
Until now. How often did Golvita come here?
4 or 5 times a week. She'd disappear for a month or 2, but she always came back.
What was she into?
She was a dominatrix. She enjoyed inflicting punishment. Some of our guests enjoyed receiving it.
Of course, you realise it's illegal to smoke in these premises.
Your hand, is that a prosthetic?
An accident when I was younger.
Was Golvita paid for her services?
She wasn't a prostitute, but she might have received gifts.
In cash, I presume? Were some of the men here today our clients?
I have no idea. You'd have to ask them, I'm afraid.
We will.
Ah, you two again. Business or personal?
We're pretty sure the man we're looking for is one of your guests. He's into bondage, humiliation, but he's aroused by the utter subjugation of his victims.
We never let things get that far. We use safety words when someone had enough.
We think you persuaded them to meet him off the premises so you could tie them up and amputate their limbs.
You cut them?
How did you lose your hand?
An infection. I let it go too far and they had to take it off.
Has any of your guests ever asked you to remove the prosthetic?
1 or 2.
Who was the most recent?
Golvita, the girl you call Scheherazade. She wasn't just murdered. She was tortured to death. It took 3 weeks.
He called himself Michelangelo. Said he was a sculptor.
A sculptor?
Oh, it's just a line to flatter me. He worked in plastics. He told me that when I vetted him. He was what we call a devotee.
Was he more interested in the prosthetic or the stump?
The hand, it was almost as if it amused him.
When was the last time you saw him?
A year ago.
And you've got no idea about his real name, where he lives, where he works?
I saw someone who resembled him. In the Mansion Walk shopping centre. He didn't look like any of these, sorry.
Have another look.
Electra, all this stuff about professional discretion, the duty of confidence, is that really about protecting your guests? Was it about absolving yourself when something goes wrong?
Second from the left.
You sure?
He's dyed his hair and he's using contacts, but that's him. He was the devotee. Can I go now, please?